Rob, what is our third main topic today?
John, our third main topic comes from Steve Calderon. Greetings, everyone. Smile opened with $22 million to take the top spot. Another win for Paramount this year. They're all smiling for joy right now. However, no one is smiling at Universal because Bros opened in fourth place with a disappointing $4.8 million. That's only half of what the studio is projecting. Thoughts on the weekend box office results of the two movies?
All right, thanks a lot for saying that in, Steve. And yeah, I'd say these are two pretty profound different things. Let's start with Smile. Smile, you are popping bottles if you're over at Paramount right now. This little horror film that everybody just seemed to love and enjoy comes out of nowhere and makes $22 million. I mean, it made more opening weekend than Don't Worry Darling did. I mean, this is a terrific result for this. I mean, it was number one, brilliantly marketed. The trailers were fantastic. All the way from the very first spots they showed us at CinemaCon a while ago, the TV trailers look freaky and whatever, you wanted to go and see what this is all about, to the guerrilla style marketing, where they literally hired people at Major League Baseball games to sit behind home plate with a smile on the entire, like that's Deadpool kind of marketing.
Oh, yeah.
Like they just did everything right, and it's a terrific movie, makes $22 million. Couldn't be happier for it. Let's take a look at the chart here. This is the top thing. So Smile comes in at 22. Don't Worry Darling drops 62%, which actually isn't too awful bad, making another 7.3 million. The Woman King comes in third with just about 7 million. And Bros, of course, comes in at 4.8. Avatar stays in the top 5, of course, with 4.6. So let's talk about Bros, because in as much of a huge, satisfying pop bottles kind of win that Smile is, Bros has got to be looked at as a major disappointment. Eichner did, we were talking about this before the show started. Eichner did, as an individual, an incredible job trying to promote this film on his own. You know, it's a modestly budgeted movie, so it had a modestly budgeted marketing campaign, for sure. But he went outside of that and did everything he could possibly do to go out and sell this thing. And it makes $4.8 billion, releasing on over 3,000 screens and coming across a little horror film that literally made more than 4 times the amount that it did. Okay. This was a movie that got incredible reviews. The audience rating on this movie is massive, like huge. Like both the critic ratings and the audience ratings are in the mid 90s. I mean, this is no joke. So where did things go wrong? All right, I want to propose a couple of possibilities here, okay, of where some things went wrong. I think the first thing we're going to look at, and this is in no particular order of importance. I think one of the things you have to look at is that this was the first major Hollywood studio film that was a gay romantic comedy. There have been others, right? Kissing Jessica Stein, which I love that movie, but I'm a cheerleader. I love that movie. I mean, there's a bunch of them like that, but this was the first big major Hollywood. This is Universal Studios putting this out. I liken it unto the analogy of the first penguin in the water, right? You all seen the nature documentaries when the penguins get to the edge of the cliff, but no one wants to jump in because the first one that jumps in is going to get eaten by the seal that's waiting in there. But once the first one goes, then everybody can. But the first one generally gets eaten. Bros got eaten. And I think one of the things about that is that there is a point of this where it's like, is the majority of straight America ready to go to watch a gay romantic comedy? And I think this is why it's important for a movie like Bros to be the first penguin in the water, to kind of break that seal, because maybe the next ones will have a better chance at that. But Taylor brought up a really great point. Before we started the show today, Taylor came in and said, well, it's not just that straight America didn't go see it, gay America didn't go to see it either. And that's the problem. And that leads into a couple of the other points. Point number 2 is, despite the fact that I'm a big Billy Eichner fan, I had no desire to see this movie because the trailers were terrible. The trailers never once, I said this at CinemaCon. They showed the preview for it at CinemaCon. It's like, I didn't even grin. It's like my problem with She-Hulk. It didn't make me smile. It didn't make me laugh. It just didn't look good. Now, we've seen lots of great trailers to terrible movies and lots of terrible trailers to great movies. Apparently, this is one of the great ones because, like I said, the audience reviews have been great. The critic reviews have been great. But their trailers did this movie no favors Billy Eichner did a great job individually going out there to try it, but the marketing for this thing was just plain terrible. So that's another thing you got to look at. The third thing I want to throw out there is something that everybody needs to keep in mind. When's the last blockbuster romantic comedy at all? Forget gay romantic comedy.
Yeah.
When was the last big blockbuster romantic comedy? The only one in recent memory that even did okay was Lost City. And in Lost City, you had 3 major A-list stars. Sandra Bullock, Brad Pitt. Brad wasn't in a ton of the movie. He was in enough of it. Brad Pitt, Channing Tatum. It had incredible reviews. It had a fantastic ad campaign. Those trailers, I was looking forward to that movie for months because the previews for it, the trailers for it looked absolutely phenomenal. So it was 3 big major stars, really well marketed, had very, very solid reviews, and it made $30 million opening weekend. Now 30 is still a lot more than 4.5, but terrific ad campaign, 3 major A-list stars, and it was a really good movie, and it opened to $30 million. So I would propose that, the starting skiff for where you could look at, it wasn't very high for Bros anyway, because just the romantic comedy genre itself is not pulling in a ton of money these days. So I think when you look at those 3 things, number one, it's the first penguin in the water. I don't think a lot of straight America was ready to go quite yet, but this could be the kind of movie that makes it easier for others to get made later on. Number 2, I thought the marketing campaign was absolutely terrible. And number 3, romantic comedies just don't make a ton of money right now anyway. So I think when you put all those 3 things together, that's when you end up with a very, very disappointing $4.8 million. Rob, there are 2 different ways to look at it. You can look at it optimistically like me, saying, well, now the seal's been broken. This is going to help get straight America more accustomed to the idea of maybe comedies like this, go and see it. From a business point of view, this might make studios look at it and go, whoa, Universal got burned by trying to put out a gay-themed romantic comedy. Oh, maybe we won't. Or, I don't know. Guys, we want to take a second to thank a sponsor of today's video, Amazon Pharmacy. I don't know about you, but when I need to go to the drugstore, I always seem to wait till the last minute, hoping that they'll be open, or I get stuck in a line, or both. And that's why I love Amazon Pharmacy. Yes, that Amazon. Amazon Pharmacy delivers a better pharmacy experience that delivers directly to your door and works with most insurance plans. Amazon Pharmacy helps you save time, save money, and stay healthy. They have transparent pricing, so you know what you'll pay before you pay it. That is clutch. As an added bonus, Prime members can save up to 80% on their prescriptions. And like I mentioned earlier, Amazon Pharmacy works with most insurance plans. And if you ever have any questions or problems, real pharmacists are always available at Amazon Pharmacy, no matter the time of day or night. A pharmacy that works for your life, with meds delivered to your door. It doesn't get any better than that. Switch to Amazon Pharmacy and save time, save money, and stay healthy. Learn more at amazon.com/Campea. That's amazon.com/Campea. Average savings based on usage and Inside RX data as compared to cash prices. Average savings for all generics are 78%, 37% for select brand medications. Restrictions apply. But Rob, you look at this thing, what do you attribute this, let's call it what it is, this very, very disappointing outing for Bros?
Well, first of all, I saw this movie, and because I told you that I thought it looked funny. Like, I was looking forward to it.
Yeah, you had a totally different perception of it than I did.
And Nicholas Stoller, I really have enjoyed his work as
a
comedy director. He's a really great director. And this movie is freaking hysterical. I mean, it's really funny. And the actors do a really great job. And there's also a sweetness to it. But I also think that a lot of people might have been, both straight or gay, might have been put off by the film. I think the film, the way it was marketed, looked a little one note. You know, when you have a romantic comedy, there's the meet cute, or there's the relationship that's happening with the people in it. But then there's something else going on. There's a larger, like, you know, in the movie Big, for instance, there's a great romantic relationship that develops between Tom Hanks and I forget the actress's name in that.
The pedophile. Yeah.
Well,
there's really wonderful pedophile style nature.
You've got, usually in romantic comedies, there's 2 different stories happening.
Yes.
There's the romantic comedy, and there's actually other, like this whole thing about doing this museum. I couldn't get enough of that, but that's it was all very specific. I think when people watch this, they might have been turned off thinking there wasn't enough for them in it. And I don't know, but I just, it was funny because I was sitting in the theater and there weren't that many people in the theater. And I was embarrassed how much I was laughing at this movie because it is really smart and really funny. And it's got some great situational stuff in it. And it also has lots of stuff that I walked out of the theater pondering. But I just think that people might have thought it was a little too niche for them, that it was going to be only one thing. And I don't know. I mean, I wish I could take more people to this movie and go, look, whether you're straight, whether you're gay, if you're just a human being, you're going to have fun in this movie because it's damn funny.
Yeah, that's what I'm hearing across the board. Like we had our own, like you've seen it. Amy and Chris and Taylor went to go see it. Absolutely loved it.
It's really funny.
So, I mean, it's so big win for Smile, big loss for Bros. It'll be interesting to see how the industry itself reacts and course adjusts moving forward.
I mean, I just feel bad, John, because I think the romantic comedy genre, we haven't seen a lot of great theatrically. I mean, this was literally I can see this will be a Shawshank Redemption situation where Shawshank Redemption didn't make a lot of money when it was in theaters.
Not its initial run. No.
And then people are going to discover this on streaming. I also think one more thing I wanted to say, this also looks like the kind of movie that you don't need to see in a theater. With a horror film like Smile, when you have a great concept, it's like, I want to go to a theater and sit with a bunch of people. And you think that about comedies too, but something about this, even in the marketing, looked like, I can wait for streaming.
All right, guys, question is for you. What do you think about this? The weekend box office results, again, as disappointing as the results for Bros were, you got to look at Smile and Smile. I mean, a huge win for that. Like horror, everybody. Horror is there. People want to go see it. Whatever you guys think, jump down to the comment section below and leave your thoughts there.